When it comes to equipment, you can never be sure. But when it comes to YouTube equipment as a beginner, stay tuned or you're going to find out much, much more. Today we're going to speaking about YouTube equipment and what is basically necessary as a beginner or intermediate when it comes to basically producing content for your YouTube channel. Now let's dig in. Now, how important is the quality of your equipment? The quality of your equipment is very much important because, firstly, think of it as you hitting the initial threshold of quality, right? It needs to be important that it can't be garbage. When I say it can't be garbage, it basically needs to be at the optimum quality so that your not only your viewers will understand what your viewers will enjoy, and also more viewers will continue to watch your videos. Now you need to take into consideration your video, the lighting, and the audio. Be sure to hit and touch on every one of these as we go through. Alright? Now content, if you're new to content basically, one of the things you need to remember is that you already have access to creating the videos, especially if you have a cell phone. So you get started with what you have. Now if it is that you have an iPhone, you can use the back camera of your iPhone, not the front, because the back has a high resolution as pertains to the front of your camera. Alright, now it already have a built-in audio, so it's basically having a device in your hand if you're new and if you're getting started. So you start what you have. Don't worry about the quality of your content, just basically focus on the content basically because that's what persons will be more interested in, the content and not more so the quality. But as you progress through time and as time passes, you'll create the quality of your content as well. Now your content, your brain and your personality, it's basically the overall to say what your equipment should be. So once your content is there, once you have your brain intact, once you have a personality, those are the three things that you need in order to get started and what will be needed in order to provide content for your viewers when you just started, alright? Now when you get started, your equipment is less important than your shooting environment. Ensure that there's low noise. If you're using a camera, make sure there's good natural lighting and there's not too much lighting on your face and so forth, or too much lighting from a light, like a ring light. That is good to therefore produce we would call shadows. Okay. I also mentioned having a phone is important if you're starting out, especially if you're on a low budget. Now let's get into cameras. Now having a camera, as I mentioned before, your phone. This is if you have no budget to basically start your channel. Now your iPhone or another smartphone is very much important. You don't need a mic because as long as you're in a quiet room, it will record your video quite comfortably. Now there is no need for lighting. As I mentioned before, you can use your natural light and you do not have to have video backlight. Alright? Your phone is very much important. If you have a tripod stand, you just attach your phone to your tripod stand or your ring light and you basically record. Now if it is that you have a budget, this is a list of some cameras that you can use. There's a Canon G7x. This is very important for vlogs and multi-purpose cameras, especially if you're doing traveling and so forth. And it also has a built-in lens. You don't have to worry about going to find the lens because there's some upscale cameras where you actually have to go find the lens in order to operate the camera. So this is not needed for the Canon G7x. You can also check out the Sony ZV-1. This is under $1,000, can be very affordable, as well as the Sony a6000 and the a6300. They're both under 1,000. So these are good cameras you can use if you have a small budget, and you can basically go ahead and purchase them in order to create your videos and to create content. Now, things to consider is that if you invest in one camera, system, it should be Sony or Canon. This determines your future lenses basically, because if you're going to continue using these cameras and you upgrade, well, you will also know what lenses to use. Now, Canon has cheaper glass, and Sony is far better when it comes for video or videography. So if it is that you should choose, I would choose the Sony over the Canon because it's better. It's also important that if you shoot with a Canon for years, I have shoot because I have a small videography company where I live, and we moved over to Sony a few years ago and we don't regret it. You can also be successful with any camera, alright? So those are some things that you should consider. Now, when it comes to audio, you need to remember your smartphone mic is okay as long as the room is quiet. That's very much important. I know there are times when you hear things in my background, that's because I don't live alone. So there are times when persons are home, I'm not able to record as clear as I want to or as quiet as I want to without having noise in the background. So I apologize for that. Now, all serious creators use a dedicated microphone, and for content-driven speaking videos, audio is very much important. Like what I do, I create content-driven videos, and it's also considered to be a no-face channel. So basically, I'm focusing on just putting information out there, not so much putting or focusing on myself. Having information is very important to me. A big portion of people listen to YouTube, like a podcast. They can be driving, they can be washing, they can be doing their chores, and so forth. Just put it on in order to keep abreast and to learn something new. So audio is very much important. And for visual-based content, it is less important when it comes to audio. So how would you know if you need a microphone or not? It just basically depends on what niche it is that you're in, if you're in content or if you're in vlogs and basically travel. Now, are you providing a medium audio quality? Now, the medium audio quality is basically having persons able to hear what it is that you're saying clearly and naturally. Now, can people understand what you're saying, and can they understand what you're saying clearly? Is your background noise at minimum and mine isn't? So I don't produce the best videos, but I'm trying every day to be consistent and to put content out there. Now, consistent audio levels is very much important. It doesn't mean that you can't put yourself in a room in order to produce content at a minimum level. Now, good full audio is very much important, and you can use built-in microphone, whether it's on your PC, whether it's on your smartphone. You can use that for now until it is that you need to purchase a microphone to attach to your camera or a microphone to attach to your computer in order to record properly. Alright, now these are some audio devices you can use. It goes on to a whole show of cameras. There is the Rode Video Mic, the Rode Video Mic Pro, there's a Rode Video Mic Go, and a Rode Video Mic Pro also. So these are some of the microphones that you can consider when you want to attach if you're doing vlogs and so forth. And then there's a wide lavalier mics. They're very affordable. They can connect directly to the cameras and the mic input. And there's a wireless and there's a wired one. So the wired one, they connect directly to your cameras and they're good for isolating your voice from the environment, so there's less noise and backlash. And also for the wireless, they're good for interviews and when you're going far distance from your cameras, and they're also a bit more expensive, but in the long run they pay off, and I think it's something very much important you can use if you, let's say, using your PC and so forth. It can be very good in recording audio. Alright, so that's it, guys. Please remember that people care more about your content than the quality of your content. The key main things is your content, your brain, and personality. There's a key most equipment that you can use. Ensure you're in a room with less noise. Natural light is important when you're recording. And basically, if you're a beginner, I hope this video helped. Please don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll basically try to touch on some of the niches and how you can go about finding a niche if you're new. I haven't figured out this yet. I'm going to go through, or you can find a niche in order to start your YouTube channel if you haven't decided this yet. So we'll see you in the next one.